Welcome to today's episode of Touchdown Labs. And we're in the lab today breaking down a potential, Miles Garrett trade to the Dallas Cowboys. What do we need for this to happen? What does Jerry Jones need to do? Can he really go all in? I'm going to answer all these questions for you today in our episode of Touchdown Labs. So let's get right into it. You're going to see above Miles Garrett, edge rusher, age 29. Okay. He's signed until 2027, 7 secured seasons in the NFL. So that is another thing to mention. He is 29 years old. Miles Garrett's not coming off his rookie contract. He's been in the season for a little bit. And fortunately enough, he's been healthy. But I've been doing some research. And what I want to show you guys on the screen above, the Cleveland Browns can get out of this Miles Garrett contract. And what they thought was going to happen with Miles Garrett is they thought Miles Garrett was going to be a Cleveland Brown for the rest of his life. They saved all of the dead money and all of the cap hit until 2027 when his contract was void. Something similar to this is what the Dallas Cowboys do with kicking the can down the road for Dak Prescott and similar studs and star players that they think they're going to re-sign to extensions and be able to continue to do this and maneuver and schmooze the cap in the way that they think they can. So this is what the Browns thought they were doing here. They pushed $40 million all the way until 2027 into a void year. And now Miles Garrett has gone and requested a trade. Not only has he requested a trade, Miles Garrett has gone and he's wrote a letter to the city of Cleveland thanking them for their services and saying, I want out. I want to get the hell out of here. So Miles Garrett is, I saw John Gruden interview today and say he needs to take 3 weeks and calm down. The team needs to leave him alone. He's played 7 seasons, guys. I think he's done with this franchise, and he's done with this with what's going on with the quarterback situation, and he wants to go to a contender. That's another part I'm going to emphasize here. Miles Garrett wants to go to a contender. Not only does he just want to play in the NFL, he wants to win a Super Bowl at this point. He's been paid, and if a team wants to pick him up, Cleveland is not just going to shed this money and let him go for nothing. So either they're going to wait until after June and trade him for a higher pick. So he has a no trade clause. They need to work with him in order to get him out of there. And the team that he wants to go to needs to work with him as well to renegotiate his deal. So that's another complicated piece in this whole scenario with him requesting a trade. And the fact that he did it during Super Bowl week, he wants this to be talked about and he wants this to get done. He wants people that are at New Orleans to start talking about his contract and figure out ways to get him out of Cleveland. So this is a very, very interesting development that's happening around not only for Cowboys fans, but for fans around the league. I know people that are fans for other teams that are super excited thinking that they can get a package together for Miles Garrett. So another person that didn't really request a trade, but was kind of told he's getting let go, is Cooper Cup. Triple crown, Cooper Cup, wide receiver, Super Bowl winner. Sorry, bud, you're 31 years old and you had one bad season. Now we're going to kick you to the curb. And doesn't look like Sean McVay needs this guy anymore, especially when he's picking wide receivers in the 5th round, like Puka Nakua, that can get it done better than Cooper Cup can at a younger and cheaper rate. And the problem with Cup is his salary. If you look at the screen here, he is getting paid $29 million last year, $29 million again in 2025, and $27 million in his last year of his contract in 2026. What team is going to be willing to take on Cooper Cup's contract, give up a draft pick, and also pay him $60 million over the next 2 years? This would have to be a situation where Tom Brady's in his last year at Tampa Bay and they're trying to load up on extra weapons, or this is a special team that's that one piece away. I do not see a team trading for Cooper Cup for $60 million. I know the Rams say they're going to look for a partner. So this will be interesting as well to see what they're willing to receive and to shed this contract and see what they can do. The Rams look like they're in a rebuilding mode. It looks like Stafford was iffy on coming back. He's interested in coming back, but the team might not be interested in taking him. So that's a scenario that's developing there as well. And Rams fans might be looking at rebuild, and they might be looking at a rebuild at several different positions. Not only did Aaron Donald retire, they got Jared Verse to fill those shoes. Cooper Cup's production dropped off. Nakua's come in and filled those shoes, and now Stafford, he might be out of the picture in the near future as well. Something else I'm going to point out, guys, brand new. You'll see it on the screen right here. Top 15 big board. I redid my whole big board. Been watching a lot of film on these guys. I'm going to go through it real quick with you right now. Still have Hunter number one. My second pick here in the draft that I think is the second best overall guy is Genty. Genty's a generational back, probably the best back that we've seen in the last 5, 6 years. And he's coming in a class where there's very strong running backs this class, and he's still number one. Number three, Abdul Carter, game changer. Next, Micah Parsons. Four, Mason Graham. Think he's a violent guy with strong hands, quick agility for 300 pounds plus on the defensive line. Can play 1 and 3 technique. Did a fantastic film session on him. You can check out. Tech McMillan. Ted McMillan is he's a good receiver. He's probably the best receiver in this class. If Hunter doesn't want to switch over and play corner and wide receiver. I think scouts are primarily thinking that GMs are going to draft Hunter as a primary cornerback. So McMillan would be my number one wide receiver on my board, and I'd be comfortable handing that pick in as a Cowboys fan at number 12. Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons. This is somebody who's a new addition onto the list here. So Josh Simmons is somebody who had an undisclosed knee injury in Ohio State. They were very suspect about what was going on. And due to that, he's kind of been up and down scouts draft boards. But when you look at the film, I said it myself, apex predator, grizzly bear, silverback gorilla, my best left tackle in the class if he is healthy. Then we have Will Johnson, the second best corner next to Travis Hunter. Mike Green, new addition here as well. Edge rusher Mike Green. You'll probably have seen his clips in the Senior Bowl, dummying people, throwing them on the floor, and really just showing out. And he left the Senior Bowl early because he put all of those highlights on film there. We have Banks. Banks has dropped down my list, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's a left tackle in this class. He's looking like more of an offensive guard. So Banks is really losing position value for me. And the more I look at film, he's made mistakes in bigger games, false starts, letting people by. So I don't think he's as good as people want to mock him to be. Not saying he's a bad player, but he's still number 9 on my list. Malachi Starks, I've been watching the FFCA with John Gruden every single episode. I would guarantee you that you will learn something no matter if you're a player, coach, or even just a fan. Watch John Gruden's FFCA if you really want to get to know football. Malachi Starks has been one of those players that's been on there every single episode. It looks like he's training in Florida. Antoine Winfield was down there with him. I know he's rehabbing his foot injury, but at least they have those people in their vicinity to kind of get that experience and help them prep for the draft. And uh, Coach Gruden's really helping them prep, and I've been impressed with what he's shown there. So he is somebody to look out for. He is top 10 on my board. I do think if he continues to put in the work at the combine, he will stay there, and he might be a player if the Cowboys pick that is on the top of our board when we get there at 12. Now, Sanders, I had Sanders quite high in the last time I did this. He's dropped down for me. I think all of these players are better prospects at their position than he is at the moment, but he's still my QB1 in the draft. Jalen Walker, downfield demon, likely an edge, but in the right defense, he can be a monster. Then we have Michael Williams. Want to note that him, Jalen Walker, Malachi Starks, all of these guys played on the defense together at Georgia. So there's a deeper conversation to be had around these first round draft picks and three of them playing on the same defense and whether or not that affects their stock, I would say it probably does, and a deeper conversation needs to be had at the lab about that. 14, we have Cam Ward, second quarterback that's coming in here. And lastly, he hasn't changed since the last time we did this. Warren, our tight end, Penn State, little bit of Travis Kelce, little bit of Rob Gronkowski, little bit premature for me to put those together, but I'm excited to do my film session on him this week. I'm going to throw that out there for you guys. Tyler Warren is going to be somebody that he's going to he's going to probably have good numbers at the combine too and turn more heads. And I'm excited to see what he can do. This is a quick update though. Can Jerry Jones get it done with Myles Garrett? Jerry, bring Myles home. Touchdown Labs out. Are you hungry for more NFL draft content? Like, subscribe, and follow our YouTube channel.